Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day once more. One more look here again at Solana, seeing what's going on. This is awesome stuff. Broke our all-time high, 264.35 is that new high, and obviously the price is pulling back to that 0.618 fib level. Keep in mind, I got my fibs reversed, just in case you're confused about where or how they're structured. I have that specifically so we can see how much further up the price action could go, because I'm getting the question, if the price continues to run, where's it going to go next? And a lot of times it's all pretty much speculation. It's not like it's a definitive level, but fib levels are commonly retraced too, so it's just it's kind of like a statistical probability is all. So again, never a guarantee, take it with a grain of salt, but at this point what we're going to look at is best and worst case scenario. What's it going to look like if we break our all-time high once more? What's it going to look like if we pull back even further? We want to start with liquidation too at first, just kind of give you perspective. And the best thing to look at here is, first of all, just these lower liquidation levels, because again, we can see some longs here hedged at about the 252 mark. So 252 is up for grabs, you could say, where the price action, if it comes down to bounce off that level, it'll probably wick down and hit those stop losses and then continue back up, okay? But just know we have some support here at 252 so far at this point, and that may actually be a very solid area for consideration for a long. However, you gotta recognize we are now making lower highs, lower lows. I can also kind of see like a head and shoulders pattern there too. So, that we may even see the price action pull back further, especially if Bitcoin continues to pull back. Just know, I'm not subscribing to this, but just say Bitcoin runs towards 90, 80K, for example, somewhere in that range. What do you think coins like Solana are going to do? One of the more profitable coins in the market. They're going to pull back too with it. So just don't be blindly, holding on forever, or more importantly, if it's a leverage position, just make sure you secure profits at some point. It doesn't make a ton of sense to hold on for dear life with a non-spot bag. Spot is a different story altogether. I'm usually referring to leverage trades when I talk about buying and selling or shorting, etc. Like, you don't need to worry about that with a spot bag. Just add to your position is really what it boils down to there. But in this case here, when it comes to leverage, there is too much leverage here, starting to subside, so this is good, but we got about $1 billion in liquidation here. And I've noticed that Solana, when it hits its higher points, it's usually around 2 or 3 billion, so we're not super crazy out of outrageous right now, but just know there's longs that have potential issues here coming their way. If we zoom out, we can kind of see that the local point of control is about 249. That is basically an open interest area, and then prior to that, previous is 238. Okay, so there's just some areas to kind of remember for potential support levels. So let's take a look here. We can see, again, the previous high working as a new low here, as a rough estimate. Again, it's just ballparks, but that 250 range was the previous high for about 4 to 8 hours, and then the price took off. Or no, sorry, 1 to 2 hours only. And then, of course, the price continued. So let's go ahead and look at the daily time frame. Let's go work our way down here and just recognize that still making higher highs, higher lows. We're above all moving averages. The 4-hour time frame is what we're going to want to look at for more definitive information. But on the daily here, everything looks fantastic. There's really nothing disadvantageous about what we see here. Okay, this is looking good. So really easy way to understand it is the daily time frame is going to continue to look good for days, honestly. So it's not really much help. What is helpful here is a 4-hour time frame, identifying that we're above the 20 and the 50-day SMA, just kind of letting us know that we're on the right side of tracks and we don't got to be super concerned. Again, we broke our descending trend and haven't really looked back much yet. So good news is we are definitely moving up and we're running concurrent or ascending with these trend lines. So in other words, we don't have to worry about the price action pulling back aggressively. Again, pending Bitcoin doesn't make a run towards like low 90K range, right? There's always that caveat. But just say Bitcoin were to hold its 98 to 97K range, I think we're probably going to see a bounce in the 250, 252 range. That would make sense. But if we do take a look here, we want to recognize that this is starting to tell us that there's a shift in momentum happening. While we're over 50 and below 70, that's a very good sign. Stochastic swinging down, money flow index is starting to pull back. Albeit the money flow index is above the RSI, that shows we have more strength here and sustainability too. So even though the price is pulling back here for Solana, I think we are due to see some support here soon. Let me just go ahead and clarify some of those areas here. Again, we got the local high before the price continued higher, 248. And then of course we got 252 is that area of liquidation and also the golden pocket. So my anticipation here is that if the price were to pull back any further, we're going to see a decent amount of support in this range here between 248 and 252. Okay, losing that level, we'll have a different conversation, of course, but between now and then, we got to presume that level will hold. That's generally how it works when you're trading, folks. You give support levels a chance to be able to hold. If they don't work out, you consider and reevaluate later. Okay, but for right now, still looking pretty good here in the overall sense. But the truth is, Solana is not like ripping right now, which some people probably expected due to the fact that we broke our all-time high. But the fact that we haven't closed above the previous all-time high is generally unfavorable. So just know that staying above 260 is more important here. It's not going to be like a deal breaker if we don't close above it today, but it is important to recognize that closing at 260 or higher would be extremely helpful to be able to allow for us to be able to continue further up. And just to touch on that too, before I forget, 274 as a round number, as well as 278.50 are two areas of consideration for take profit. And so the best way to do it would be like a profit target 273 or a profit target 278. You always want to go just below those fib levels to ensure that you get filled. Okay, that's just a best practice. But if we look at Ichimoku cloud, we can confirm here we're still technically above the cloud. Conversion line and baseline are intersecting or soon to touch. That lets us know that this momentous continuation is slowing. And of course, the lagging span getting close to the price action is indicating that securing profits soon would be appropriate, at least on a long position. So again, this is a conservative indicator, not always the best tool in monumental runs like we've been seeing here for Bitcoin. So I would recommend just, again, hanging tight, seeing what happens at 250. If we lose 250, then maybe a different consideration. But for the most part, Solana is really good about coming back down to retest its previous highs. So I would say that at this point, 248 to 252 is a pretty solid consideration for a long. It just kind of has that way about it right now. It's still working within its range. So all good. I don't see anything super concerning here, but again, just know that Bitcoin were to make to pull back pretty significant, which is still a possibility if we sweep that 100K range for Bitcoin, then it may be safe to presume that coins, large market cap coins that are super strong right now, could eventually weaken and start to sell off because there's a lot of profit here too. So there's that. Okay, anyways, I hope that I clarified a few things, probably provided more questions than answers today, but sometimes in these transitional timeframes, the best thing to do is just kind of hang tight and wait for a better trade. This isn't like an optimal trading situation. It's weird to want to take a long at what feels like the top for Bitcoin. So I totally get it. But once more, a lot of coins are running too. So like AVAX, for example, awesome stuff. We actually took some nice healthy profits here on AVAX. 33% in 18 hours there. So pretty cool stuff. Anyways, thanks again so much for watching. I hope you learned something today. Have yourself a great rest of the day. I'll post a playout chart here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord shortly. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. Take care.